Peace. We back. Welcome again to Rational Lens Podcast, where truth and logic comes together and focus. And I hope everybody's enjoying the information and the breakdown. And I'm going to say it again. We're trying to build the community up. So go to my podcast on YouTube, Rational Lens Podcast. Press the button, subscribe, so we can build this community of information together. You understand? I appreciate it. So we was talking about how the dragon was kicked out of heaven. The dragon being Halal, the son of Shakor, the reptilian race, who came from out of the chaos with the light bearers, Lucifer, the light bearers who came from out of the chaos, the interdimensional space realm, you understand? Which is the etheric realm, the mental plane, right? They was kicked out by Melchizedek and his seraphim, righteous angels. And because these disagreeable beings were causing chaos, mayhem, and destruction in the mental realm and making things imbalanced, they had to be kicked out. So the dragon and his cherub, who are the angelic beings that followed him, were kicked out of Orion and they came to Earth, right? And I'm going to read it one more time. It says, this war is recorded in the scripture, Revelation 14, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Marduk and his seraphim fought against the dragon, Halal, and his cherub. And the seraphim did win the war. So there was no more found there anymore in Orion for them. And the great dragon, who was Halal, the son of Shakor, was cast out, that old reptilian called the devil, and the serpent, which deceived the whole planet Earth. He was cast out into earth, and his cherub did personify with him, right? After that, the Natis began to do disagreeable acts and disobey El Elo, the head Yahweh, the most high deity of all deities, the source, and he condemned them. The Natis, also called Lucifer, was an extra being on terror, or what you refer to as extraterrestrial. The Luciferian order came out of a group of extraterrestrial beings called Yahwehians, sometimes called the Jehovahans. The Luciferians would interfere with the beings on this planet called Earth and pass themselves off as gods. You hear that? So when these Luciferians got kicked out of heaven, which was the fourth mental plane, Orion, they came to Earth with the chaos, mayhem, and destruction, right? And they passed themselves off as gods to the people on Earth. So this goes back to your religion, relying on the jinn. We know that jinn is a demon. And it's through the religion that it posed itself as gods on the people. So these gods that you believe in this religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is really the devil, Lucifer. But it got you fooled that it's God. So the God you really worshiping is Lucifer. And this is part of the chaos magic that they got on your mind, putting you under a spell of worshiping the devil, and you think you worshiping God, but you really worshiping devil. This is the tricknology that they use when they play with your mind. This is all part of their chaos magic. It says Lucifer, after taking their independence, was allowed to work with the Yahwehians together at one time to conquer certain portions of this planet. But One such Luciferian named Halal, the son of Naxus, or Shakur, wanted to rule all the stars of the heavens, meaning all the Yahwehans. Leviathan, the serpent people, right? One of the reptilian seed, or the Luciferians, had been trying to gain control over this planet for many thousands of Earth years. They are called the sex spirit, or sex force, also called Perne, or porn. They are able to seduce, deceive all those with desires on Earth. So you hear that? Leviathan, the serpent, is another aspect of your reptilian Luciferian order, who came to Earth from Orion, who fell from out of the fourth plane of heaven, which is the mental plane, the etheric plane, or the chaos realm, right? They also known as Leviathan, the serpent people. And this reptilian seed is trying to take control of the planet Earth, what we should say already has control and power over the Earth through the global elite. And it's using the sex force, porne or porn, to control and seduce people sexually. And we see that in the videos, the movies, and in the publication. Everything has to be based on sex. This is another way of them using their chaotic magic through sex to control and dominate you. You understand? They do it through the religion, through the mind control, and they do it through the mind control, through the sex, through the porn industry. You understand? It says they are able to seduce, deceive all those with the desire on Earth, turning lust into luster, thereby attracting and controlling all with it, as Eve was seduced by the Leviathan power of lust. It is the death of divinity and the birth of morality. You understand? So using the sex force is how they control and dominate us. The global elite, who are part of the reptilian bloodline, the Nordic Aryan reptilian hybrid bloodline, to be exact, who are hemophiliacs. They need blood, Dracula. You understand? They use the porn industry. And just like inside the Bible, the serpent seduced Eve. It was a sexual act that went on so they can get into the seed of the righteous. And they can control and manipulate through sex. It says, that's why the Intergalactical Federation quarantined the planet. If enough entities was looking for freedom from the control of the Luciferians, the Intergalactic Confederation would remove these forces from the Earth. So this is the reason why they put the dome over the Earth. You understand? This is why the Earth is in a dome. The Elohim did that because of the control and power that these Luciferians had on the planet Earth. They didn't want this disagreeable energy seeping over into other realms of existence, causing chaos and mayhem, so they put us in a bubble. You understand? To keep us confined, to keep us restricted, until they figure out how to deal with the problem of these Luciferians controlling this physical realm. Right? It says that's why the Intergalactic Confederation quarantines the planet. If enough entities were looking for freedom from the control of the Luciferians, the Intergalactic Confederation would remove these forces from the Earth. Yet humans love to lust and lust to love, expressing energy in motion, overexerting their emotions, bringing about their spiritual death. There is a group called the Satanists who are not the same as the Luciferians. Their other name are the Divines or the Nakashites or Kanas. These Satanists are more sadistic than the Luciferians, who leaders were Lucifer, also called Natus, which is simply Satan spelled backwards. They are also called Shaitan, right? They have supplanted themselves in every facet of life that you can think of. And now they have you naming yourself after them. The Satanists seek mind control, dominance, control and dominance, while the Luciferians seek control the energy of others. They are best described as vampires who draw energy from others, also called Dracula, Dragos, or serpent dragons, called Leviathan. These Luciferians are from a planet called Maldek, the 11th planet. This planet called Earth even has Luciferians and Yahwehians, and some of them are disagreeable. They don't usually work together, however, they will come together if there are common interests. Right? So your Satanists, your Luciferians are kind of different. Your Satanists are more sadistic and about control and dominance. And your Luciferians are more vampiric. They want to control and manipulate energy. You understand? One is based on the dragon, Leviathan. You understand? And these dragons or reptilians came from a planet that we call Maldek. And Maldek was a planet that was in between Jupiter and Earth, I think, which was destroyed by Nibiru. You understand? And when it was destroyed by Nibiru, it formed what we call the asteroid belt. You understand? And these Maldekians, who were reptilians, when their planet was destroyed by Nibiru crashing into their planet, and then their planet becoming the asteroid belt, a lot of them came over to this planet, Earth, and they resided in the waters of the Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda, this is where they resided at. You understand? And when they came to this planet, we were in our Jurassic period. You had your dinosaurs that were on the planet at that time. And so these reptilians that came from Maldek that resided in the waters in the Bermuda Triangle, a lot of them interbreeded with your dinosaurs, your T-Rex, your Velociraptors, your Hacilophyllodons. These are your different dinosaurs that were mixed in with reptilians, and you also had your group of greys that existed on Maldek. But the reason they came to this planet because their planet was destroyed by Nibiru, and so when their planet was destroyed, they came over here and they resided in the waters, and they set up civilizations in the waters of the planet Earth. And they also control the electromagnetic grid in the waters. And they built advanced civilizations on these electromagnetic grids beneath the water of Earth. So this is another way how your reptilian hybrid, or I should say your Nordic Aryan reptilian hybrid royal bloodline came into existence on this planet and became the global elite to dominate the earth that we're in by using the chaos magic and sorcery, by manipulating us sexually, right? By using the sex force through porn, right? And through religion, your monotheism religions, right? So let's keep on going. I hope y'all understanding this. And if there's any questions, anybody that's out there that's with me, you got questions, ask them so I can answer them. It says the Yahwehians were the original 24. elders. There were 12 ex-Luciferians, the dissatisfied, and the other 12 were agreeable, not disagreeable, but agreeable denier. The word denier means righteous. That's why you have 12 satisfied and 12 dissatisfied. You understand that? I'm going to read it again. It says there were 12 ex-Luciferians, the dissatisfied. The other 12 were agreeable denier, which means righteous. That's why you have 12 satisfied, 12 dissatisfied. Shakor, who is also called Humbaba or Zuin or Tarnush, subjected all of them, your Jehovians, called Luciferians, to the chastisement of eternal damnation, except for the weak ones of the family of the Elohim. These he had pardoned and had appointed one of them, Halashi, to be their governor, and he granted them a new law called religion. It was other than Nuwapu, sound right reasoning. See, it was Lucifer that created religion. Your original way of life is called Nuwapu, and Nuwapu means logic and reasoning. Learning how to use your mind through logic and reasoning, but these Luciferians done put us under mind control through the chaos magic and bombarding our minds with all this chaos and mayhem on this planet that is throwing us off where we can't use our mind the right way. You understand? So our natural science and way of the universe is Nuwapu, and Nuwapu is sound right reasoning, dealing with how you use the mind, which is what the Luciferians and the satanic people don't want you to do. They don't want you to use your mind. And it says that these Luciferians were convicted to eternal damnation. You understand? And they were governed by a demon called Halashi. He was their governor. And their new law was called religion. So I hope y'all understanding what religion is about and how these reptilians created this royal bloodline, this blue blood royal bloodline, which are Nordic Aryan hybrids that are controlling and dominating this planet. It says, when the cycle collapsed, the wicked son of Shakor or Tarnush blasphemed and committed disagreeable acts because their nature was intended to recalcitrate or to show defiance. Anu, Elion El, the Most High, sent Murdoch, the son of Enki, and Damkina, who is called Michael, and the agreeable beings to demolish them and advise them. However, it was in vain. Murdoch was sent because he knew their nature, having been the disagreeable twin to his sister Baalat, who was agreeable. So in the beginning of the fourth cycle of 7,000 years, you have the seraphim, the cherub, and the humans, later called humans, be they agreeable or disagreeable. You see the cycle is broken up into four. When these disagreeable beings were cast out, 1/3 of them were cast out from the 19th galaxy called Elion with Tarnush. Now you have the sun and you have the 10 planets. The planets speed up when they get closer to the sun. The ancient Greeks called certain points of light in the sky planetai, or planet, a word that means wandering star, and named them after their gods, Hermes, Aphrodite, Ares, Zeus, Kronos. Instead of using the name of the Greek gods, these planets are now called by the name of equivalent Roman gods: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Planets shine by reflecting light, right? The planet in our solar system are captive of your largest star, the sun. Like the planets, the earth gives off no light of its own. When a planet shines brightly during the shadow hours, it is reflecting the sunlight. These 10 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Titan, right, where they come from, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, which are your calculations of the planets. However, you shall know the truth. Now let me continue. You have the sun and the planet Mercury, Venus, the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, and Neptune and Pluto. Earth is the third planet from the sun, which is 93 million miles away, and the third attribute of Allah is El Nuwar, which means the light. He is called the light of the heaven and the earth, which is the sun, the true light of the heaven and the earth. Simply Ra or Ray, said Ray as in the sun rays. The sun is the light, the 93rd attribute, and the number 93 million miles in distant. And this is no coincidence. The sun is the bright morning star, which the planet Venus is known as Venus. It is often referred to as a star, as an account of its dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide. So when we're talking about Venus and we're talking about Lucifer, Lucifer and Venus is the same thing. Venus is the feminine aspect of Lucifer. You understand? And these disagreeable beings were sent to Earth. And this is how your global elite was set up and structured on the planet Earth to control and dominate by these Luciferians, using the elite that's in control and power to control and dominate us. A lot of them are reptilians. A lot of them deal with vampirism, sucking energy and sucking blood. This is what they're doing to us. This is what they're doing to us while they got us under their control and power. You understand? So you have to understand what you're dealing with when you're dealing with these global elite. They come from Lucifer. They come from the reptilian bloodline. They're Nordic Aryan hybrids, you understand, that took on the form of humans, and they're practicing their chaos magic on us and their vampiric tactics of sucking our blood and sucking our energy. You understand? This is how they're keeping control and power over us. So when we talk about the global elite and the reptilian bloodline and where they came from Lucifer. Lucifer was kicked out of the heavens, which was Orion, which is the star system that they were kicked out from the fourth plane. The fourth plane of existence is the mental plane, which is the plane of mind or mental activity, where we get the ether from. Ether is a mind gas that controls the mind. You understand? And chaos is another aspect of ether, because chaos just means spirit of God, the ether. The ether is the mind plane or the mental plane or the plane where mental activity happens. And because these disagreeable reptilian beings were causing chaos and mayhem in the mental plane, they had to be kicked out. And when they got kicked out, they came to Earth and they set up a government. They set up a bloodline of aristocratic people who are your global elites to keep this royal reptilian bloodline going. And they're using the chaos magic to control and dominate us. You understand? So I hope y'all understand how Lucifer took over the planet and created a global elite that controls and dominates us, and how they're using the chaos magic. You understand? They're bombarding us with chaos because these chaos beings came from out of the chaos realm, from warring with other deities. And this is how Lucifer created the physical realm, coming from light, coming from out of the darkness. And he created the multiverse, the physical realm, and creating it into a multiverse. You understand? And practicing the chaos magic through the reptilian bloodline that runs and controls and dominates the earth, which is the global elite. You understand? So I hope y'all understand that. And I hope y'all understand what chaos magic is. I hope y'all understand how the reptilian bloodline connects. You understand how they keep their control and power by using the chaos magic, which is how they control us. And by sucking our energy, by keeping us working and into their social construct of activity, they're drawing our energy and they're taking our blood through the medical system, which they control. So I hope y'all understand that, and this is going to be the end of the lecture. I hope y'all liked it. Like I said, press the button, the like, and subscribe. Go to my my page, which is named the podcast. I named the podcast again. I'm gonna say it. It's called Rational Lens. Put in Rational Lens Podcast and press like and subscribe so y'all can get this information that I'm breaking down to open up the eyes of the people that need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? So they can see and focus their third eye and deal with this and interact with this world in the right way, in the right mind. You understand? So peace. I hope you have a good night. Until the next time, this is Rational Lens Podcast. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and let's make this community of information and upliftment come true. Peace.